Laura Kuenssberg's real view on Brexit has been exposed after an unearthed report emerged discussing what she thought of the outcome of the UK's referendum on whether or not to leave the EU. The political editor of BBC News is expected to remain impartial due to her role with the broadcaster on the topics she covers. She was an ever-present on TV screens during the Brexit vote in 2016, which led to the reporter being given a Press Gazette award. And, speaking after she received the award, she dropped a bombshell confession on what she really thought of the referendum result. Ms. Kuenssberg was asked whether she was surprised by the UK's decision to leave the EU. Her comments came just after the UK voted 52% to 48% in favour of leaving the EU. She said, "I don't think I called it, but it didn't surprise me because we had been on the road for months before the result, not just during the campaign, and we picked up that lots of people felt that voting to leave is what they wanted to do. It's kind of as simple as that, you knock on the door and people tell you something. And lots of politicians knew it was coming as well, but they didn't necessarily want to say it publicly." The former ITV employee added, "Clearly our decision to leave the EU is the biggest political decision we will take as a country for decades. No one knows what the consequences will be, good or ill, and therefore I think most people would accept that the consequences of that are bigger than any choice from the general election, although those are of course huge stories too, and you've seen politicians grapple with that and they don't really know what to do. We are also in an era where the pundit class has been proved wrong so many times that it's okay to be a political journalist and say, I don't know." During her career with the BBC, Ms. Kuenssberg has faced a series of allegations surrounding claims she had been biased in her reporting against both Labour and the Conservative Party. In the same year as the UK voted to leave the EU, Ms. Kuenssberg saw a petition launched calling for her dismissal. On that occasion, Labour and Jeremy Corbyn supporters claimed she had been biased against the party during the local elections. However, the petition was later withdrawn by website 38 Degrees due to concerns that it had become a focal point for sexist and hateful abuse made towards Laura Kuenssberg. She was also faced with further accusations during last year's historic general election. Some members of the public attacked her after she shared a link to the personal blog of the government's chief strategist Dominic Cummings. Critics said by sharing it, Mr. Cummings' views were seen by the public unadulterated. It comes as Ms. Kuenssberg revealed that the UK's Brexit negotiating team will blank the EU's irritation over one key aspect of the impending trade talks between the nations. Speaking on Newscast last week, she said that British negotiators had no intention to address the issue of little progress being made by the UK on the implementation of the Irish Border Protocol. Trade talks with the European Union were called off amid a global health scare over the coronavirus outbreak. With over 200 UK and EU officials set to meet in London on March 18, negotiators have decided to call off the next round of negotiations as part of an effort to stop the spread of the deadly virus. After failing to reach a positive conclusion in Brussels last week, the delay will only add to the time pressure on both sides to conclude a deal before the end of the Brexit transition period after December